Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. And that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your before we get into that, I just want to say I'm feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment and probably going to be out of action for a good couple of weeks. So I apologise for the new setup. I've tried to make it as aesthetically pleasing for you all as possible, but this is how things will be for a while. So thank you for your understanding and your patience. For your key to the week, you have the Hierophant card. What are you doing with your day-to-day life, Aquarius? Are you getting your life or are you getting your life together? Because this is the time to do so. The Hierophant has many meanings, as all of the cards do. But one of the things that I often talk about with this card is, what are you doing with your rituals? And what I mean by this is, how are you spending your days? How are you utilizing your daily energy? Where is it that you are being productive? Where is it that you're not? And I'm not talking... excuse me, I got through the whole of Capricorn without a single yawn, and there we go. And I'm not talking about like toxic hustle culture or anything like that. I'm not saying like, oh, you know, if you're not being productive, you're not doing anything. It's not about that. It's about, where are you being productive and where are you not being productive? And where are your daily habits, routines and rituals either supporting the life that you want to build for yourself or not? And this is a time where being really brutally honest with yourself about what you're doing in the time and space that nobody can see you. That is what's really important here. And with that said, I will say as well, because remember I talk about this card as being a card of initiation, and in a lot of ways this really asks you to think about, you know, you say you want the next step. What are you doing to get underneath your belt what you need in order to make that transition from what you're doing now or where you are right now to where it is that you want to be or to what you want to do? With that said, if for those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, I can't because it doesn't look very good. With your, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, please hit the subscribe button. For your actions and options, you have the Empress. This is gorgeous. So you've got a double hit of Taurian energy. This suggests to me, on a personal level, this would be a really good week to cultivate some sort of staying power and to tap into an energy of creating a routine of ease. So yes, looking at, you know, your routines and your rituals, but also finding a way to really do for yourself what you would do for others. Excuse me, sorry. This is about finding a way to show yourself some form of hospitality. And what I mean by that is how you would nurture somebody else, how you would nourish somebody else, what you would give to them, you know, to guests in your home and all the rest of it. It's time for you to start treating yourself in the same way. All right, so this is effectively this week you giving yourself some slack, maybe as well because it's the Empress. And I think Venus will move out of the sign of Aquarius this week. So make the most of this energy, right? You've still got Venus in your sign for a little while longer. Set an intention around your around how you look, whether this is a new health regime, whether it's a new beauty regime, whether it's deciding to have some sort of cosmetic work done, or, you know, just as simple as really dedicating yourself to making yourself healthy and happy as you see fit, not by societal norms and standards. For your communications and conversations, you have the Emperor. This is very powerful. So you've got the Empress and the Emperor. So you've got a run of cards here. 3, 4, 5. That is literally, so if we had like from the same deck, the Hierophant card is the card that follows. And what this tells me is this is a powerful week of things speeding up. It's a powerful week of things happening in the tangible world. This is a week where you're likely to see some big results or big rewards, quite possibly. This could also be a time where you have some form of correspondence from a larger governing body or institution, a local authority, a local council, the local government, maybe a school, a bank, you know, like some larger institution could be getting in touch with you this week, and it may have what I would consider far-reaching ripples. They don't have to be detrimental ones, they could be really great ones. But I just find it really interesting, and it's quite a big sort of message. Now with this, as these two things come together, they are a mated, fated pair. And so what this tells me is when it comes to your work and your professional sphere, there is definitely advancement happening there. And when you get the masculine and feminine polarities come together, you get conception. So this is about, so I would say to you, even though, you know, the new moon isn't this week because it's on the 1st of April, this is whatever you've set into motion with that Aries new moon. If you haven't seen my Aries new moon astrology video, check it out. Whatever you've set into motion with that, you are going to see immediate and tangible results. It is, after all, a new moon in Aries. Yes, you know, new moons tend to take their time to deliver their goods, let's say, but I feel like you're going to see results relatively quickly. Now, the Emperor as your communications card. This is a time where you are likely to be interacting with persons, movers and shakers, quite possibly an important or a powerful woman, but you know, it doesn't have to be a guy, especially because he's next to the Empress. So this could be either way, but there's a powerful person that is backing you, working with you, working on your behalf, maybe even in a space that you can't see. So it's important that when you are called upon in what looks like a potentially fated, moment, you're able to deliver, right? You're able to really be present and give the goods. For those of you that are studying, this could be a week where you are called upon by the establishment, maybe to set an example. This could also see you having for some of you, this could literally be an accolade or a recognition. So that could be really nice. For those of you that work for somebody else, this is potential leadership energy. But it's you having to jump through a lot of hoops to show, to demonstrate, to prove that you are the right person for the job. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, there's a lot of interest in you this week. Now, I am going to say this. You may not necessarily see this right now. So like I said, although the results of this Aries new moon are going to be quick, you might not necessarily see the immediate sort of, all these people want to work with me and da-da-da. It may be that these conversations are happening in the corridors of power about you or around you. And then at some point later from here on in, over the course of April, you are being tapped on the shoulder. So you know what, if you don't see it immediately this week and you're like, it didn't happen or whatever, just trust that it's happening, but it might not necessarily be seen right now. But there are immediate results coming, that much I can tell you. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, I would definitely say to you this week, yours may be the voice of reason, and it tends to be anyway. That much we can say about Aquarian energy. Yours tends to be the voice of reason in the maddening crowd, as they say. But this week, it's not just the reason that you're being called upon. The thing about the Emperor, he's very reasonable and he's learnt to be that way. That's why he's got a white beard, because he's learnt to be wiser than he was when he was just a soldier. He's now a general, he's now an emperor, a ruler. He's not so impulsive anymore, but he's also, that's why he's got the sword and the armor, he's ready to mete out that justice if he needs to. And so while yours is going to be the voice of reason, also this week you may find that you need to use your heckles, that you need to use your harsher words, or put some of that bass in your voice when you're talking to a certain person for a certain reason. You might have to call upon the warrior in some way, shape or form this week. For your love and relations, this has happened in a lot of the readings this week, where there's been like literally 3 major arcana cards as the first 3 out. So I have no doubts that this is going to be a big week across the board. You know, it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Now, for those of you that are single, this could definitely be a week where you are connecting with someone or meeting someone, but it's likely to be that you're meeting them over the internet, over an app. The thing that I will say to you that recently someone said to me is, have a little bit more patience. That is probably the best piece of advice that I can give you. So if you start talking to someone and they don't answer immediately, don't freak out and, you know, kind of, well, that's that then. Just like take your time with it. Allow the other person to have their life separate from you, all right? Now, when it comes to those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, one way that this might show up for you is literally a goal, a hope or a wish that you and your partner have shared for a long time now suddenly starts to become possible. Something that you have worked on or towards for a long time could suddenly start to get a glimpse of reality, which could be really, really great. And then for your money and materials, look at that. You got the Sun card, right? Beautiful. Now, when it comes to your money, your finances, your resources, this bodes very, very well for you, because it suggests that there is a big boost coming to the finances, and it's here to stay, because the Star card represents long periods of time, coupled with the Sun card. So this literally represents astrology. So this could suggest that something in your astrology that speaks to money, finances and resources is about to pay off. For those of you that are thinking about getting into astrology in order to make money, you've got the absolute go-ahead. This, like, if you've been waiting for a sign from the universe to tell you, you know what, you're going to make money as an astrologer, or you'll be able to support yourself doing this, this is your fucking sign. Stop waiting. Get up and get out. Alright, like, excuse my language, but like literally, if you needed that sign, it's there. Alright, like, look at this as well, across the board. All major arcana. This is a very big and a very fated week for you. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Sun card is beautiful for health. I wish I could partake in this, but I'm going to take this as a good omen that I will be healing faster than I had hoped, which is really, really nice. And I will also say, like, and the fact that you've got this as well means that you are getting, maybe as well, if at the moment, like me, you're a bit under the weather, this suggests that you're getting past it quicker than you thought, or maybe it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as it could be. And then when it comes to your home and environment, this is, for some of you, news of, you know, maybe from somebody overseas. For some of you, this could be a time where you are starting to look at potentially moving abroad or moving further afield. And it also suggests as well, for some of you, there is a connection to the US. For those of you that are outside of the US, for those of you that are in the US, this could be places like Switzerland and or Zurich. Well, Zurich is in Switzerland, but you get my point. So yeah, Zurich, Brighton, in the UK. So it's interesting. There's definitely an international flavour to this, especially for those of you that are single. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how this shapes up.